Hey World of Warcraft fans, welcome back to a new video on my channel. Today we're diving into a new tier list again, which gives us an overview of which DPS classes and tank classes are good at the start of patch 12.1. There are two things I want to say about this. Point one, before the season comes out or before the season really gets going, there will still be changes. I don't know if it will be next Wednesday, but at the latest a week after that. When the season is underway, there will be changes. So the list won't stay like this. Point number two, because a lot of people always say these lists are annoying and they don't know why I do this. In the end, I get so many questions about what the best classes are. These videos get a lot of views. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Why do news portals report so many car accidents? Because people click on them. On the internet, everyone always gets upset about it, but I can tell you, if people didn't watch it, they wouldn't make it. So yeah, let's take another look. Besides that, I find it interesting to see what's theoretically possible and where my class currently stands. But let me also say this, it's better to play what you enjoy. So much is going to change anyway. It doesn't make sense to commit to a class now just because it's theoretically really good. So let's get started.
Holy Energy is the alternative to conventional energy drinks. Without sugar, without artificial nonsense, and available in many delicious flavors, Holy Energy is the perfect alternative for you if you need energy but want to avoid sugar, calories, a caffeine crash, and so on and so forth. Preparation is very simple. Put water in the shaker, feel free to add a few ice cubes. Add the powder, give it a quick shake, and you're done. And you've got a delicious energy drink for when you're on the go. But if you say you don't want to consume too much caffeine, Holy also has iced tea. It's also available in a variety of delicious flavors, and the best part is, both the energy drink and the iced tea are available in trial packs, so check out the links in the video description and my codes, you can save a lot more, and I hope you enjoy Holy.
Leave a like, subscribe for more, and I should also mention that this tier list is from the top player Petco, and actually it's not up to date. The list is updated every Sunday. And last Sunday was the 9th. So theoretically, this was posted as the final list for patch 12.1. That's why the date they've written above here isn't current. We can definitely see here, two specs as of now that seem to be really good DPS specs. Arms Warrior and Arcane Mage. There are some new talents for the Warrior. New tier set, the rotation is similar. The Ravager has been changed so that it now chases enemies. So the thing that spins on the ground, which ultimately means you deal insane AoE damage. And Arcane Mage as well. Arcane Pulse has been reworked and the spec is, as of now, just really good. Let's see if it stays that way. So that's S+. S is already giga strong, and S plus is even a notch above that. In the S tier, we have Outlaw Rogue and Windwalker Monk. So what's noticeable is that there are a lot of melees so far. And then we continue with the A tier. Now Boomkin is in there, which was recently still in the S tier. That's what I mean. Things can change very quickly. With each week, a class that was previously brutally OP can suddenly drop all the way to the bottom. That's why it's very difficult to say. Elemental Shaman, Unholy Death Knight, Devastation Evoker, Demon Hunter are at the top. Frost Decay, Assassination Rogue, Destruction Warlock, and Retribution Paladin. And it's worth pointing out here, if this balance really ends up being like this, it would still be extremely strong. You have to realize A tier is already really good. S tier is actually only for the specs that are really even stronger than already very strong classes. And according to this list, about 2/3 of all classes are at least in the A tier. Yeah, you have to keep that in mind too. Then we also have Enhancement Shaman, Feral, Shadow Priest, Havoc, Demon Hunter, Fury Warrior, Demo Lock, Athly Lock, and Fire Mage. Also, I can only say if it turns out that way, I would be completely fine with it, because in the end, it would mean that the DPS classes would be pretty close to each other. Let's see what else happens. Usually, Blizzard always adjusts the classes that are at the very top and those that are at the very bottom. So in this case, it would be Augmentation, Frost Mage, Marksmanship, and Survival Hunter. I'm also sure that this will buff at least one Hunter spec a bit. See, here's Beastmaster and Devastation, and Subtlety Rogue hasn't been classified yet. That's why I can definitely imagine that up here, Arms Warrior and Arcane Mage will be toned down a bit, and for some specs at the bottom, things will move up so that everything gets compressed a bit and comes together. But yeah, we'll just have to see. That's the current situation. For the tanks, this is what we see right now. Something has changed. Namely, Blood Decay is at the top since the last time we looked at this. Before it was Prot Paladin. But even here with the tanks, everything is relatively close together. Blood Decay has received some more buffs for damage and survivability, which puts him up here now. Prot Paladin, after being the most overpowered tank of all at the beginning in terms of damage and survivability, has been toned down a bit. Guardian Druid has also received buffs for its own damage, which is why it moves up. Same goes for Vengeance Demon Hunter. In A tier we have Prot Warrior, and unfortunately Brewmaster Monk has slipped down a bit. The main problem here is the damage wasn't bad even in Season 1, but especially when it comes to survivability, you're a bit at a disadvantage compared to the other tanks. That's why, again, the tanks are actually pretty close overall. But let's see what happens next. And then, last but not least, we have the healers. And now there are two of them here in the S tier. And those are the Holy Paladin and the Resto Shaman. Especially the Holy Paladin has received a lot of changes. Many buffs and even some new talents. So it's going to feel a bit different compared to the first season. Resto Shaman was mainly buffed in terms of AoE, so it should also perform better in raids, especially because Healing Rain now hits one more target. It doesn't sound like much, but it actually makes a difference. Then in A tier we have the Evoker and the Monk, B+, the two Priest specs, and in B tier, Resto Druid. Which all in all, yes, is mainly because of that the healing compared to the first season isn't quite as good anymore for the Druid. And here, especially in the S tier, we're talking again about specs that are extremely good both in terms of outgoing healing and outgoing damage. Keep that in mind. And yes, that's it for now. Thank you very much for watching. As soon as there is any news, as soon as there is class tuning, you will of course hear about it here. So feel free to subscribe to the channel. Until then. Have a good time, kisses, and take care.